Ratchet Deadlocked is the 4th game in the Ratchet & Clank series, being focused more on combat than platforming. However, the real challenge can come when you're going for 100% completion, since you need to face the game's highest difficulty, aptly named Exterminator, just for this dinky little card. Anyway, Exterminator Difficulty can be a challenging prospect, especially if you don't have everything already leveled up. But what if you could cheat the system and get the mega versions of weapons before digging through the main part of the game? Well, thanks to a special exploit, that's actually completely possible and used in the speedruns of all Exterminator cards, the game's 100% category. Here's how it works and how you can do it yourself. So, for this, I'm going to be following what Dan MCD, one of the long time runners of the game, has noted down in his route for AEC. The link to the spreadsheet can be found in the description if anyone is curious. The exploit here is referred to as load cancelling. Due to how the game loads differently depending on the platform, it's possible to cancel out of the difficulty screen after the file is loaded, allowing you to be in both files at the same time, with some weird effects by doing so. What this route entails, essentially, is performing a sequence of load cancels to unlock End Zone, one of the dread challenges in the Crusader tournament. The tournament requires the medals from completing the campaign of the previous planets. In the case of the Crusader tournament, you need the blue medals, which you get by completing the last missions of Shah and Auxon, As the Wrench Turns, and Chains of Villainy, respectively. The way you unlock these for the route is actually by defeating Reactor already, which unlocks the planets before the tournament, as well as any planets before then as well, with the exception of Serathos and Kronos, as they are also locked behind medals. Note that it doesn't unlock any tournaments, as this doesn't give you the previous colored medals as well. Defeating Reactor does not give you the 4 green medals you would need by beating Advanced Qualifier, Catacomb 4, Serathos and Kronos, so it does not unlock the Avenger tournament. If this sounds complicated, don't worry, it was for me as well at the start. I'll explain everything as simply as I can for the tutorial. Before we begin, there is one thing to mention. This will only work on the PS3 version of the game. Since the PS3 version loads the file before bringing up the difficulty screen, it is the only one where you can perform the exploit. Since the PS2 version tells you to select difficulty before loading the file, load cancelling out of the difficulty screen gets you nowhere. This also extends to the emulators. You will be able to perform the exploit if you're playing on RPCS3, but you will not be able to if you're playing on PCSX2. In order to keep track of everything, I'll have 2 diagrams on the side here to say what's happening in each file. What planet it's currently on, which challenge and what difficulty, aptly named Slot 1 and Slot 2. These don't have to be the same numbers on your files, though it could be handy to avoid confusion. The arrow will show which file I'm currently in. If it's somewhere in the middle, then it means I'm sort of in both files. The arrow is closer to the one that has just been load cancelled into. There are 2 ways of doing this, depending on whether you want to do As the Wrench Turns and Chains of Villainy in Exterminator Difficulty to just get them out of the way, or if you want to do the entire route in Couch Potato and redo those 2 in Exterminator as you make your way through. I'll start with the Exterminator version first, with the Couch Potato one afterwards. I'll put timestamps in the description so you can jump to which one you would prefer to do. For both versions, the start is the same. Once you've beaten Ghost Station, you come back to Dreadzone Station ready for the interior and final boss. While you're in this zone, save a copy to Slot 2. This will put you in Slot 2 for future reference. After this, you want to go through the control level, beat Vox before confirming to enter challenge mode on Slot 2. From here, get through the qualification rules and the advanced qualifier. You'll know you've done so when the planets option becomes unlocked in the pause menu. From here, perform a load cancel into Slot 1, which is before doing a control level in the first playthrough. To do this, load the file on your PS3, and it's as simple as pressing the triangle button on the difficulty select screen. Doing this gives you the option to pick from any challenge. Select the fight for reactor. Once the fight loads, perform another load cancel into slot 2 and defeat reactor. This will unlock Shah and Auxon on your challenge word file, in addition to Val Expelled and Planet Torval from actually defeating reactor. Now this is where the split happens. If you're following the Exterminator route, load cancel once more into slot 1 and travel to Shah. Just select the first challenge for simplicity. This will only update slot 1 for Shah, and if you try to load cancel across planets, the game crashes. Do a full load on slot 2, select Exterminator Difficulty and go to Shah. When both files are on Shah, load cancel into slot 1 and select as the wrench turns, then load cancel back to slot 2 to still be in Exterminator Difficulty when you complete the challenge. After as the wrench turns, load cancel to slot 1 and travel to Auxon. Fully reload slot 2 again on Exterminator and travel to Auxon here too. Once on Auxon, load cancel to slot 1, select Chains of Villainy, load cancel to slot 2 and complete the challenge. If you're doing the couch potato route, still in the load cancelled file from the reactor fight, travel to Shah. Then fully load slot 1 and travel to Shah there as well. Select as the wrench turns from the challenges list. Then load cancel into slot 2 to finish the challenge for the challenge load file. Still in the load cancel file, travel to Auxon and again fully load slot 1 and travel to Auxon 2, entering Chains of Villainy. Load cancel to slot 2, complete the challenge. After completing either route, head back to Dreadstone Station. If you've done the Exterminator route, you can actually load up End Zone in Exterminator Difficulty once, just to get it out of the way. If you do a flail cancel move or a control menu abuse, you can get over to the other side of the arena and just stand in this corner facing away from the enemies. If you do this, the game will unload all the enemies and you can take a few minutes for a bathroom break or to refill your drink or something. Once it's done, you can reload into Couch Potato Difficulty to start grinding. I will include my notes for grinding here, largely following what Dan has written in the guide for this speedrun. By this point in the run, my weapons looked like this. The Hollow Shield was V1, Dual Vipers V2, Magma Cannon and B6 Obliterator V4, Arbiter V5, Fusion Rifle V8, and then Mines and Flail at V10. This is just what is used in the speedrun, but you can level certain weapons up in an ideal configuration to maximize efficiency. If you've played the game before, you'll know there are two systems of mods. The Omega mods, things like Shock, Freeze, Acid, Napalm, etc. And then the Alpha mods, things like Rate of Fire, Ammo Capacity, Area of Effect, also etc. As you level the weapons up, at each level they unlock a new Alpha mod and the appropriate slot that you can take off and swap around however you want. At V10, some weapons give very powerful mods, and these help determine what the best order for leveling stuff up is. The Arbiter, Hollow Shield Launcher, Mini Turret Launcher, and Harbinger do not have these special mods when they reach level 10. The Arbiter and Harbinger get ammo mods, while the Mini Turret Launcher and Hollow Shield Launcher get speed mods. However, the Mine Launcher and Flail get healing mods, the Dual Vipers and Magma Cannon get jackpot mods, and most importantly for us, the B6 Obliterator and Fusion Rifle give XP mods. Each one of these increases your XP gain by 50%, improving weapon leveling speed significantly. As such, they are the first two to get upgraded. Have the Shock Omega mod on all weapons, as it is by far the most potent here. Do the rifle before you do the B6, as the rifle can help with dropping ammo for the V6 to use. Once the fusion rifle gets to V10 and becomes the anti-matter rifle, take the XP mod from it and drop it onto the V6, starting to upgrade that. You can get both weapons to V10 in 1 or 2 rounds of end zone. It's the best place for farming bolts. Once you have 3 million bolts and the game kicks you out of the battle dome, go to the vendor and buy a third XP mod to join the 2 you already have. You have plenty of bolts, so it isn't much of an issue. After that, you want to do the ones with the jackpot mods, so the Jewel Vipers and the Magma Cannon. I tend to prefer doing the Magma Cannon first, for similar reasons to the rifle, helps get lots of ammo crates for the Jewel Vipers. Drop all 3 XP mods into the Magma Cannon until that's level to V10, then take all the XP mod and the jackpot mod and do the same for the Jewel Vipers. At this point, there is a bit more flexibility for how you can order things. In my case, the mines and flail are already at V10, so I don't need to worry about those, and the healing mods here are near useless anyway. If you like parallelization, you can employ a scenario like putting 1 XP mod and 1 jackpot mod on the mini turrets, and then focusing on a weapon like the Arbiter with the other 2 XP mods and the other jackpot mod. Typically, I get every weapon to V10 except the Hollow Shield Launcher. The best place to upgrade that is actually on Shah. Sit yourself between a couple of Landstalkers on Landstalker Stalking with all the XP mods and it'll shoot right up. You can buy the mega weapons here if you want to and level those up before reloading into Exterminator Difficulty E. However, I just grab 1 or 2 of the mega ones and put all 3 XP mods onto it, usually the flail, and then just go through Exterminator Difficulty buying the other mega weapons when I can. This video was originally meant to be only about the sequence of load cancels for the Detour, as Dan actually puts as a note in the route that a video could possibly be more intuitive, and I thought I would help him out with that. But I decided to make it a bit more casual leaning as well, since I thought the newer players might find it easier, or older players might like to mess around with it, and I had a bit of fun coming up with the animations for everything. Thanks for watching. I know this is only my second video like this, and admittedly I wasn't very happy with the first one, so I'm hoping this one is better. Funny story, just as I was planning this out, my Matrix Switch had decided that it didn't like the output from my fat PS3 anymore, so I'm hoping that I can get that resolved relatively quickly. Playing at 720p through the RetroTink is not a recommended experience. HDMI is so much nicer. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and be sure to subscribe to not miss my next video, whenever that is. I'll also have a card up for my second channel for speedrun videos, and my AEC PV where I do use this red if you want to see it flow a bit smoother. Other socials like Twitch, Twitter, and Blue Sky will be in the description. Don't forget to join the Discord as well to suggest video ideas that you'd like to see me do. I'll see you next time.